Hello, men. Or Adrian. Also man, I guess. Well, we have a day without Kim, and we apparently have a point to spend. I think our volition at 5 is pretty decent at this point, so not sure where to shove it. Fucking slow it through. We were oogling the old logic, I think. Simply because we are hustlers. At this, it would sit at 4 max if we put points into it. Are there any thoughts we would like to ask? Alright, taking long? No. Yeah, we should probably see about trying to get logic asked. Logic and encyclopedia. It's not great that we are so brainially hustlers. It'd also be fun to get perception up to see what sort of things we start noticing. Fuck it. I want to try and get a stat up there where we start getting fucky. Let's get our bag out. Oh yeah, there's the bullet as well. Let's have an oogle at that sucker. The bullet is safely sealed in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location of bullet was found. Besides its oldie handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny shriveled head of a cauliflower. Thank you, Inland Empire. What do I do with you, bullet? The squish little thing has no idea. I know, you could find the gun that shot the bullet. Eat it. Find the gun that shot it. Time and visual calculus. It's not like something a police detective would do. First, you should try to learn all about the little guy. Then find the gun that shot it, and the person who the gun belongs to. Use it to kill your victim, Neato. Fuel bullet through bag. The squash bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. More oogle. The jacket of the bullet is made of yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5mm in diameter. Oogle jacket. I can just make out a few striations in the base of the bullet, like little hairlines, linear. It feels standard. The core, it's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound. What's interesting about the bullet so far? Jacketed bullet close to 5mm diameter. A jacketed bullet, which would have been a shot from a military grade breech rifle, not from a muzzle loader like those typically found on the streets of Mayonnaise. Very interesting. You have an unusual military grade bullet in your hand. Now all you need to find is a gun that could fire it. We were talking to a trash can earlier. Come on. Damn. A rifle, Revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be 4.4 46mm from the surplus left over the turn of the century, probably an antique or retrofitted antique make. The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Bell Magrave rifle, a Elysium manufacture. The BM dominated the battlefield of the Insuladian theatre of the goddammit revolution 50 years ago. Anyone still making these? No, but Ziegler, major firearms manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling. Who uses Bell Margrave rifles these days? Antique enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, and a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for a well-preserved antique, most likely. Back at the station, the lieutenant is standing at a counter, diligently filing out paperwork to hand over to a tired records clerk. You should share your findings with him as soon as possible. Alright. We need to do ass while we wait for good old Kim to come back. Well, I need money for my rent the next day. Hey, racism guy.
Looking for something, Hunt? Huh? Coming to tell me to fuck off again?
Yes. You're a lawyer man, right? What's your stance on drugs? Drugs, they're shit, man. Don't let anything pollute my body. He takes a long drag on his cigarette. Smell of booze and cigarettes. What's different about narcotics? A barrel. You know where that shit comes from? Samusria, Safri. They take the money from local junkies here and then use it to outcompete us in the manufacturing sector. Oh god, again. God, I'm racist. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage. Racial economic sabotage. They're making alcohol here in Il Manara too. That's all they do. I don't go for that foreign piss. Proper booze is made in Mundy. Or sometimes I like a dram of that Yogograd vodka. Coco ain't worth much. But you know booze. Is a man who can't pronounce alcohol. So I take it you're not smuggling drugs out of Maltese. Not in, not out. I'll never betray the purity of my tribe. Fuck's sake. So you're telling me that you don't know anything about drug smuggling through Terminal B? Don't know shit, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you. Puffs on his cigarette. Then what are you still hanging around here for? Most other Camarinos have left. What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the boss will be on my ass like cancer. There's a bunch of spilled dot boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby. I did see one lorry with the trailer doors open on the way here. Do you know what happened? Yeah, I know what. That guy, he was an honest driver who loved his country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Whirling in Rags. Then some kid boys smashed his lock and took damn near everything. Lost his fucking job over it. Goddamn racist. Takes a long suck at his cigarette, appearing to savor the taste. Since he left, I haven't talked to anyone. Had anyone to talk to. Yeah, bad for him, I guess. Man shakes his head, dismayed, furiously pulling on his cigarette. It's fucking travesty is what it is. If it's not you, then who's running drugs out of Terminal B? Isn't it obvious? Fucking Shilling, the beady-eyed South Sumerian, spits on the ground. His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be surprised if he was peddling drugs as well. Racist Adrian. The one reselling humanitarian aid packages, right? It's the one. His tribe are natural liars. It's in his blood, in their blood. The Lord takes a slow, satisfied drag and blows a smoke ring. He's your man, alright, 100%. He's a lorry man selling his employer's stuff. Broke the seal on his Humanox lorry. No doubt he's selling drugs too. Guess I need to pay him a visit. Alright. We could rummage in the box, couldn't we?
The shine on those sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed.
Oogle.
You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing those clothes. Keep saving.
So,
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Aye, fucking. So, like, what's your stance on drugs? Drugs, my mom is essentially how to respond. I don't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin lives. Unless you're into drugs, of course, in which case drugs are excellent. He kisses his fingers, tasty drugs. We're looking for a lorry driver, and yeah, I don't like drugs, fucking. It's very cool, I don't like drugs either. I only said I do because I didn't want to sound lame. He smiles, peer pressure. So it appears to be true, no drugs in sight. Not in the box of sunglasses or under the speakers. Alright. Yeah, electrochemistry can go fuck off. That's even cooler. Yeah, we're looking for a lorry driver who is transporting drugs out of the harbour. He or she is in this traffic jam. It's even cooler. You investigated narcotic crime here. But he points to the goods. I'm not a lorry driver, I'm just a street vendor. I don't know anything about that, but you are a lorryman. Another driver has identified you and your lorry. Who said that? Is it the fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me because I'm an immigrant who works harder than he does. He's a hater, so you admit you're a lorry driver. No, I just said I work harder and he's an asshole. He stops to think. Realizing he can't get out of it. Smart man. Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. Purple man? Nah, but electrochemistry sort of would tell us to go find it, I guess. A little, but that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream. He spreads his arms. So you forgot to tell me. Exactly, it's such a small part of my life. It's in the rearview mirror now. I'm climbing out that hole with ingenuity. Stop squirming. What's your, what do you know about the drug operation at the harbour? Nothing, I told you. I'm not a dumb guy. Don't get involved in that crowd. Wait, what crowd? Crowd, you know, the drug crowd. Okay, if you don't know, then I'll tell your employer you've been selling his stuff. Okay, look. Should probably do that anyway. He looks around and lowers his voice. There's bad people here doing bad things. That's all I know. Please don't get into this mess. I've been irrational for 15 years, working my way up. Yeah, we're buddies. She like help us out. No one will know it's you, mate. It's a she, okay? He whispers. The other drivers call her Lady Driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her. He shakes his head. She's no lady. Who is these other drivers who talk. All of them, I don't know. I told you all I know. We cool now? I really want us to be cool now. And is the lady driver the old woman back there? Points to a pale driver. Dazed out strange? I don't know, maybe. If she is, I haven't gone near her. I don't get involved, I told you. Could be, she was strange. Thank you, Inland Empire. We're cool now. Alright. Really no bottles? No one littered since last ass. Got this mate here. Man on waterlock. Good morning to you, officer. Hello. Burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up generous servings of salami. Oh, he's doing that thing. With an old hunter's knife, his eyes are fixed on the man stranded on the other side of the waterlock. And an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them. First things first, what are you doing here? Doing here, man on the waterlock? My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the waterlock. I'm keeping him company and eating his salami. Oh. With one of your eyes, see a man in a yellow shirt. In grey overalls, waving at you from across the canal. Seems disappointed about the wreckage on the waterlock and the salami. He's sitting there mocking a guy. The man the waterlocks picks the skin of a slice of salami and takes a sizable bite. Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer? Do not cause this wreckage. Point to smashed billboard. I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of Daredevil drivers in Revachol. The word Daredevil driver sounds ominous to you. Too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here, especially the waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off until then. You know what's further down the coast? Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, the Bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation though. They always seem to have be something wrong with it. Think for a moment. Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruined. Can have some of that salami. Oh, nice time. Do your thing. Cut off slices of salami. It is salty, it is savory, it is chewy. The hangover only makes the salami more tasty. Tie them. Yo, what a man. What a helpful. Probably have some more authority here. There. Yeah, go get some salami.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
Missing gun?
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
The boombox, I thought it should play this tape, right? Of course, it's in working order, isn't it? Just pick your tape and set it spinning. And it starts with this, okay. It's empty. Alright, nudes. Ding ding. No bottles. Haven't spoken to these two asses. Probably wait for Kim. Oh, someone new as well. No bottles? Oh yeah, we have the death smell. We should go have a shower. I think we're pretty good now at not making an ass of ourselves. Relatively, anyway. Spittoon, oh boy. Nah. Nothing's better than Kim, don't you slander. It's not the cleanest bathtub in the world, but it's cleaner than you are right now. That soap scum smell smells like life, at least compared to you. Let us bath. Have bath. Bathe, it's called. Bathtub slowly fills with water. The water beckons. Undress, close your eyes, and submerge. Water is only lukewarm, but still comforting. Like an amniotic fluid. A few beer cans are bopping up and down along your flanks like sad duckies. Feel nice and lonely and so tired. Take the beer cans out. Now that you are alone with your thoughts in a tub, it's easier than being alone with your thoughts outside a tub. Oh, thank you. What's the meaning? Here's it. They're not even really thoughts, just a sort of sensation. None of them are cute enough to focus on. Linger and tub a little bit. Oh yeah. Imagine something. You see the corpse, you can still smell the cadaver on you. It's not like going to take more than one. It's going to take more than one bath to get rid of that stench. 10 houses along a narrow street. A video rental. Darkness on the planet's curvature. Okay, right. Oh, nice. The waterline recedes. As you stand, you're cold now. Your clothes stick to you like moist skin. Score. Still got the expression, I see. Yep. Right, Cywood. Death smell off. You can ask about more cryptids now, I guess, now that Kim's asked.
Hello, dear. There you are again.
Hey, cryptids. Of course, my dear, particular cryptid you're interested in learning about? Biggest cryptid. I thought we agreed on just one cryptid, sweetie. One or two more, Lena, pretty please. Can't say no to that. Well, the biggest cryptid is the giant of Coco Noel. Ryan lives in the most arid parts of the vast Coco Nur Desert in South Sahara, casting a strange light across the barren wastes. Wait, what do you mean, Flash Gordon? Odd light, a mirage, or psychogenous luminance. He does not elaborate the nature of this luminance further. Just how big is it? No one knows for sure. It's like an awful mountain appearing from below the horizon, expanding to cover almost a third of your field of vision. Is it dangerous? The towering luminosity of Coco Nur is a bad omen in folklore. Some say it's Fata Morgana, others fate unimaginable. That's what makes it so peculiar. A species surviving the very limits of scientific law. The giant of Coco Nur must be the largest animal the planet can support. Fuck's sake. Very difficult to locate, yeah. There are limits, you see, to how large a metabolism an ecosystem can beget. Some say a gravitational anomaly below the Coco Nur Desert might allow the creature to grow these gargantuan sizes. Aye, fucking... Great, this is great shit, you need more, alright. Inland Nigel. Most dangerous cryptid. The Gnome of Gomorrah, she pauses for effect. Gnome of Gomorrah, that sounds fucking terrifying. That doesn't sound too bad. Oh, it is. None of its victims survived. Grieving relatives never... Well, if they're victims, then of course not. Never even found their bodies because the gnome's venom dissolved organic tissue. What did this cryptid look like? It was reportedly a small creature with webbed fingers and protruding forehead. An ungainly little thing, quite scary to look at. A couple of campers found it when it was already dying. They heard an odd wailing in the woods and followed the sound. They were scared and wrapped it up in a towel to suffocate it. She looks at you, her voice grave suddenly. It still took the gnome of Gomorrah an entire day to die. Are there any photos of it? Alas, no. The first scientist who got his hands on the creature's corpse put it in a jar of formaldehyde, thinking that would detoxify the gnome's venom. Instead, all the venom leaked out of the creature's teeth and into the surrounding liquid, dissolving the creature itself. A poetic end, perhaps, but a real loss for science, he says, mostly to herself. Yes, obviously. So that happened. It's encrypted on this pen you gave me. This is a green monkey pen, by the way. Yes, the kind green ape. Half war story, half undiscovered species in the genus Homo. War story? Right, eunuch. Yeah, it was reported by soldiers in Chin En during the war. The kind green ape would visit bunkers during the night, healing wounded soldiers with its saliva. With saliva? Yes, it has amazing healing qualities. Some soldiers reported growing back limbs, regaining their sight. There was something about a man. And place. Undiscovered subspecies of man. Indeed, there is. It's our closest relative among the cryptids. Same taxonomic family, different genus. Which is to say, the kind green ape is a species which we share a common ancestor. And they evolved parallel to our own, just like your partners. You mean Kim isn't human? I knew it. I think there's a name for that. Racism. And undoubtedly inferior to other species. Oh, god damn it. Green. Banan. Racism? I didn't mean to imply that zeolites in any way inferior to us. In some ways they are superior. Every species has its advantages and disadvantages. The kind green ape too in some ways superior to us. Such kindness, as it has demonstrated, is not common among humans. Granted, kindness may be an evolutionary advantage, not be an evolutionary advantage. Any invisible cryptids? Yeah, Kim's at the police station, delivering corpse. What an interesting question, and the answer is yes, there are. What's that? The Koldo Mama Kadua, or Thin Whisper of Sound. And that's precisely what it seems to be, self-replicating sound waves, invisible and intangible. It's very afraid of us, which makes it incredibly difficult to track. What does it sound like? Like nothing. It's such a high-pitched sound that us humans can't hear it, nor can other animals. It could be a ringing right outside your window. Could be, yeah, and you wouldn't even know it. Could be anywhere, everywhere even. But how can an animal be a sound? Many scientists have asked the same question. Some have claimed that it isn't itself a sound, but a tiny corpuscule that emits sound waves, and there's no evidence to support this theory. Could it be here, right now? It could be, she says calmly. As I said, it could be everywhere, and we wouldn't know any better. It could be ringing all the days of our lives and nights. Sneeze. What evidence is there of this animal being a sound? Plenty. It's the evidence that led to its discovery in the 1920s. A group of Aeropagite ornithologists, that is, scientists who study birds, were trying to out a new recording technology for capturing sound outside the range of human hearing. And playing back recordings they made in the foothills of the EA mountain range. They noticed certain anomalies, patterns that seemed random at first, but closer examination were constant with the waveform curve lengths. Songbirds just nod. The scientists soon discovered that they could track and even predict what appears to be feeding, mating, and migration patterns based on the sound waves in a strictly delimited range of ultrasonic frequencies, even higher than those of the highest pitched bat calls. They realized that they had discovered a new species, called it the Coldomema dacuia, after the Pekingese name for the voice of God, which is said to be very silent. Go on. They grew quite obsessed with these little birds, even though they couldn't see them. They could even though they couldn't see him, they could distinguish among individual birds, and she smiled and even began to name some of them. Name them? Sequesterthyme, Diosquin. She nods, but those are... but some of them are Maduka they followed individually. Oh, I sneezed again. Sorry, fucking... Why is the Maduka afraid of us? That's a sad story, she frowns. A group of university students assisted in the fieldwork, and their enthusiasm for project, and no doubt because they were preoccupied with them pressing their professors, nearly drove it into extinction. Extinction? She nods gravely. They tried to communicate with it, and had no other means but sound. So they started sending out sound waves at frequencies they thought might match the Markaduka. And what happens when a sound wave meets another sound wave of the same frequency there? Cancel each other out? Exactly. Yelled bird to death. These tests were performed so recklessly that when they happened upon the right frequency, well, they wiped out most of the population. After that, the corpuscles appeared to have migrated elsewhere. They have been recording anomalies similar to those spotted in the EA, but they've been few and far between. It's impossible to confirm the presence of the Kudul everywhere. Interesting. Man, I can't get enough of these cryptids. Alright, I've had enough of these cryptids. Sweat Jesus. I'm gonna confront these men before Kim gets here. Until Kim gets here. I think he's gonna be here tomorrow or something. We go talk to a lady, get the lowdown on reality, I guess. Huh? What is that? Could it be the Kumaduka? Oh, for fuck's sake. Probably just your imagination ringing in your ear. Listen closely. There seems to be an extremely high-pitched ring, ultrasonic. Lena said they were very high-pitched, right? It's like something tickles your ear. Honestly, your ear isn't hearing a whole lot. The distant hum of the industrial harbour, the traffic, but admittedly there is a high-pitched noise somewhere there too, but then isn't there always? You gotta listen closely. There it is again. You're about to rediscover a long-lost species. Oh boy. Keep listening. It must be very close. Just maybe it'll come towards you. Composure. Keep still. It might perch on your shoulder. I'm a Disney princess. Yeah, let's hold still. Oh no, the sound is moving away. Somewhere over there. Go after it. No, too late. It's gone. There's no ringing anymore. Just the sound of the streets. No, come back. Listen more. Keep your ears peeled then. If the species really has migrated to Martinis, you're sure to hear it again. We got a fort for listening for birds. Well, that's our next level then. Oh yeah. Wait, what's a derealization? Phasm. Let's go learn about reality, hopefully. Fucking found the shit out of that bird. White pond. I'm a treasure hunter.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
No.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
The one we have already has it. Ass. Remains a mystery to you. What you mean by this something close? This isn't about you, it's about reality. Just don't hear back at the cryptids. What's this? Spread your hands. A bird, she tilts her head. A sphinxid, a flightless bird, the polar region. Am I really that awkward? Of course you're not, my dear. You're just terrible. I'm just terrible at guessing games. I meant this place here. Ah, she spreads her arms almost wide. This is the pier of Rue de Saint Ghislaine, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot or two. She looks around. What is Rue de Ghislaine, 33A? A pre-revolutionary tenement. All buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings battlements after less battlements Novio. But 33A and 33 are not Novio, they're old. She looks up at the crumbling facade. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall, a real high rise, by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay and the delta. That was before the war, of course. Who lived in it then? Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. There was this was one real primo real estate. before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat. From dilapidated balconies, Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, her red paintbrush held to her throat. It could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she was running the brush across her throat in a sawing motion. Wonderful. What times are these? These are unimportant times, detective. She puts her fingers to her lips and points to you. You and I were born after the dust had settled, 1,000th of a second too late. Too late for what? For the big time. Her eyes light up. There's a flash of teeth. What's the big time? The revolution, she says. And what is the revolution I keep hearing about? It's quite easy. 100 years ago or so, our species get together to decide what's next. Who gets shot in the head and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle. Who gets shot in the head? Oh, breakthrough! Those will be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people get shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. Well... Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well that one forgot they even existed. Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back? Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people. Truly a kerfuffle. Yes. The Insulindian deluge, as they call it. I had a deluge too. In my head. Point to your little head. Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposite side? Oh, a lot of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. She shakes her head. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king, just the king's nephew. The king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. I love that king. Fucking communists. Okay, about kings. Tell me one more thing. About head shooting, she smiles. Who has the mineral rights? The liberals got the mineral rights. She looks up at the sky, then inland at the crumbling city. By the mineral rights, I mean everything. And by liberals, you mean... Liberals are usually middle-class people, detective. Or the remaining gentry, the beneficiaries of the pre-revolution arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the constitution, with the monarchy, big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well. How did the liberals win it all? They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last one standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember? She's one of them. If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to? To foreign intervention, the coalition, those people really took the mineral rights. But you said the liberals already took everything? Liberals took everything that wasn't nailed down to the ground. The coalition took the ground. Stomps a rubber-booted foot. The ocean, the the laws, and the people. Yeah. And heads. Who are the coalition? Coalition of Nations, Gard, Mersk, Vespa, Venetia, Orange, and Sur the Thingy. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do. The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights and not shooting people in the head. Well, at least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Verashal now, the coalition government. This is their special administrative legion. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist. Nah, just shooting. If always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yeah. And also not. And almost in... and almost... It did it again. This is the second time I've seen it write and instead of an. Like long as... An endearingly almost endearingly moralist standpoint, she bows. It must be hard to take a moderate approach to head shooting in your line of work. When was this kerfuffle? It's true. Fucking autocorrect. It's a turn of the century revolution, she smiles, messieurs. They don't answer it, it's a trick question. Revolution began in 02 and the Grad Solia fought by the end. The whole world has got involved. Who started it? It wasn't a who, but a what? A pandemic of siege, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities on Grad proved unable to contain, and Maslow came along and overthrew the government. What did this Raz do? It made people overthrow their governments. No way. Indeed, Raz was a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual cause of the revolution were material, but the pandemic only provided the spark. Oh. Brain damage. Where did it spread from there? To Rashold and Grad? Not far. People managed to cauterize itself. The world managed to cauterize itself. Maslow's government was overthrown in 08. And the coalition rushed to the Rashold commune 2 years later. It was the end. Why, you and I, officer, she spreads her arms, wrinkle flapping in the wind. Our lives in the special administrative region. Something tells me your and her life are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie, a pair of pants. Our lives are pretty different from each other, no doubt, but we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think. What a special administrative region. City state divided into free market zones. Fucking communists. Please help free market. Under the everlasting interiorium of the coalition of nations, and of you, of course, the citizen militia. We do indeed have the expression. A cloud of typewriter key fills the main hall of the reapproaching silk mill, recent 41. Chad Tilbury presses enter. Outside, Officer Elfboy Williams slams the door of an armored motor carriage. Special administrative region is the third incarnation racial after the failure of the Sumsum and the commune. What happened to the rest of the world? Fucking modernity. They developed the marvels of insulation communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Refshell West, the aftermath continues. 5th decade. It's been like this for how long exactly? 43 years. Hard to fathom, I know. The corpse was 42. What have we been doing all the time? 20s saw a decade of urban war. Western River level, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement to what came before. From 8 to 19 was simply hell. Goddamn. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Refugee East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven. With the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seems like things were going somewhere. That's when they discovered disco. Yes, and quantitative easing, it was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An insular-wide hangover, you might say. So here we are. Curtsies. Ding ding! Welcome to reality, baby. What would you have done differently? Good question, sequence and neck. What would you have done differently? No, her first. Yeah, volition. You tell him. I ask you, who are you in all this? And I ask you, fastest detective of the thing militia, what insight has acute thingy given to you? Yeah, medical solution to the fucking prion. The cold creeps up your spine, reaching its tendrils in your neck towards the back of your head. So a quarter of humanity, calculated, simply lost their minds. And how would you stop a prion, a complex folding protein unlife with the technology 50 years ago? Jesus Christ. Hygiene, modern social care, and perhaps a little research program? Yeah, maybe it's impossible. Fuck it. The wind stops for a moment, there's silence. The child dissipates into the dark water. Quiet on the mayonnaise inlet. The dog barks, a gunshot echoes off the wall, some distant building, a woman's voice. Always. Always, she says. That's the can't-do attitude that truly defies late modernity. You may provide a modern man yet. That's enough about the times. They are what they are, who knows, an afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Anything else you want to know? Well, I want to ask my level. Plus, we got a thing. What? What's this? We're getting reports of normal, reasonable, temperate political opinion somewhere in the mayonnaise? This is because I keep saying none of the above political stuff, isn't it? It's also about that, but it's also more. Perhaps it's the hangover. Perhaps it's the temporary surge of serotonin, but something tells you it's time to become a citizen of the kingdom of conscience. What is the kingdom of conscience? It's not a place, it's a moment in time that can only arise in the right circumstances. In all of human history, it's only been achieved a handful of times. How do you bring about these circumstances? Incrementally. Yawn, you'll get there faster with a little... Shut up, electrochemistry. History's greatest catastrophes have been brought about by people trying to make the world a better place too quickly. The genius of Dolores says he recognizes that progress is meaningless if its gains are lost because of instability. Real lasting change can only come about gradually, increment by increment. What about all the things that are wrong now? Tusk. Just because you live in the present doesn't mean that you have the right to place your needs above the needs of the future. You may never live to see the kingdom of conscience. Your children may not. Even your grandchildren might not. There's no excuse to not keep working. What Sangfruid? What benevolence? What a fucking joke. Shut up, electrochemistry, goddammit. Right, the kingdom of conscience really... is kingdoms of conscience really about doing things, or just preserving the status quo? Do you believe the status quo is preferable to chaos and bloodshed? Yes. There you have it then. Sometimes holding the line is progress. Okay, what's the kingdom of conscience actually like? Kingdom of conscience is difficult to comprehend, and even more difficult to describe. Partly because humanity will just need to discard many of the categories that defines and limits it today. Kingdom of conscience is post-capitalist, post-nationalist, and also post-industrial and post-ideological and even post-sexual. It's a very fun game. Sounds incredible. Let's go there right now. Go damn. Well, we were trying to not be a dick. Apparently this is where it took us. Slow down, Mr. Reasonable. You missed the part about compromising and taking things slow. Okay, then let's get there eventually. Kingdom of Conscience, that's right. Remember, real democracy is just around the corner for Rashul. When the real democracy kicks in, a long time from now, we're all going to be much happier. Yay. James Wooey, the opposite of deja vu. Not already seen but never seen. Everything could be familiar, appear strange and new, like some half-forgotten Dane. Ah. All int learning caps raised by 1. That's nice, even if my encyclopedia goes down. I think it's time to enter the Kingdom of Conscience. Welcome to the chat. Thank you, Twitch. Oh, this has to happen. It's time to Kingdom of Conscience. We also want the fucking bird. Next level, I guess. Oh yeah, not gonna be a fiend. Volumetric shit compressor. Get your shit together, mate. Let's do some more talkie.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Reality. Missing badge? Alright. No Kim yet. What is this acute encephalopathy? It's neurological disorder caused by lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out. What causes this? Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use. Oh, it's definitely drinking then. She nods slowly. Darn it. Oh, we got James DeVoos. What is reach for something fundamental? Come on, you bot. Yes. What is all of this? The scent, the sound, the air? What world is this? What world? The fading pearls of her eyes. Look at the sea. The only one, I suppose. The world of matter and its pale antipode. The camera of her mind glides over the surface of the water. What do you see? Great bodies of water, forest-covered surfaces, clusters of light where cities lie. You've seen the montage. We all have. This world is enough, she concludes. There's term of endearment they coined in it, the DeLorean century, when humanity was high on the world. Police discovering more and more of it. The archipelago included. What is it? Elysium. The world needs a term of endearment. It does. There are those who would call it hell. What is hell? Term of hatred that originates, like many things, with the mask professed racist. Petrofascists. Fascists. Fucking men in cars. I don't feel like I've gotten the whole picture yet. Oh, you want to paint want a picture of the world? She raises her finger to her lips. There's no complete set yet, dear. They're having some trouble reaching orbit. How come? Great things are difficult to achieve. For now, we're viewing the world from the inside. Sideways. Inside sideways. What shape is the world then? We used to think it was a sphere. It was beginning to look less and less like by the day. You wouldn't know it from the tabloids, but the ORG organizations have been launching weather balloons into the lower ionosphere since the 30s. Occident Reverscholgrad. There's a steadily increasing trickle of images between the big three scientific contributors. They're putting together dark grey Corunia. Dark grey what? Yes, he pauses. Pale covers 72% of the surface. There are grey flares and premonitions. Even arcs above this entire iolas. The images are blurry, but if there was a sphere in there, certainly looks like it fractured a long time ago. What? The hell are you telling me? You seem to be spooked. Please don't be. Her voice becomes homely, calm. She lets a moment pass. The pale. What do you mean? What? They say there is a rarefied envelope of matter surrounding the darkened disk of our planet. That is, if we are still living on a planet, or to speak more plainly, imagine vast swaths of land disrupted by nothingness. I'm sorry, dear, she looks around. It must sound quite terrifying for the acute encephalophanatory. Even scientific positivism isn't entirely convinced about what we're dealing with here. But this is one of the great questions of our time. Maybe when we get the complete set together, it will jolt us out of our rut, bring us together, however naive that may sound. In fact, Corona doesn't sound like it's going to bring anyone together. Disco World, I believe. You may have misimagined it. I don't think the power... I don't have the power to convey to you the effect and geometry of images that depict our world below orbit. It's like the crowning of the world. It's insane. Very disco. You'd love it. Well, if you say it's disco. See, everyone finds something worth holding on to in the world, however wasted its opportunities. Cold seeps into you. The air is heavy with 80% humidity. Suddenly you're conscious of yourself standing there on whatever all this is. Your arms hang down at your side. What is pale? The pale is not, technically speaking, part of reality. It's the opposite of reality. Yeah, but what is it? The definition? Okay, so he concludes. Concedes. The pale is the most dominant geological feature of the world, detective. There's separate tissues between the isolas and its inter-isolar mass. Wait, what's an isola? It's a Messian word for the continent of matter enveloped on all sides by the pale. Also isolation, or land masses. We used to believe that there was only one in the last 4 centuries. We've discovered 7. Mondisel, Thingy, Grad, Kirtland, the Insuladia, Oceanic Insulandia. It comprised mostly of water. Mundi is the largest, Catla the coldest, Insula the bluest. And can I say, she tops, each is perishing and dear. Okay, so what's the pale like? Achromatic, odorless, featureless. The pale is the enemy of matter and life. It's not like any other thing in the world. Its transitional state of being into nothingness. God damn. Well, that explains the thing we have going on around the screen. If we're surrounded by pale, how do we get from isola to isola? Oh, it is. Her lungs deflate. That won't sound like a sigh. It's difficult for us. A squall of birds, hardware operating in the harbor, firm, self-evident. It's possible to force dimensions onto pale. In modern times, we can even compress its latitude, bouncing radio waves from one end to the other, shortening the path. Quizzak Sadarak? More deep. But it's still hard for humans to navigate the Pale without getting lost. We need warp. We need the spacing guild. That's what we need. Alright, this is a lot weirder than I thought. Without getting lost or having our minds damaged. What are its physical qualities? It's difficult to describe or even measure. Something worse, something whose fundamental properties is the suspension of properties, physical, epistemological, linguistic. The further into the Pale you travel, the steeper degree of suspension, right down to mathematical numbers stop working. Just like a Kelvin of reality, the fucking absolute zero of matter. No one has yet passed the number barrier. It must be impossible. Is it here? Look around. No, detective, we're safe. She points to the sea. It begins there, 6,000 kilometers to the north, and even more to the south, east and west. You are in the middle of the isola. As you gaze, instinctively turns north. A small black pit opens in your stomach. 6,000 kilometers from the end of the world. Yes, that is enough. Many cities are built much closer. And point north there, an uproar of matter. Darling, rising into the Pale, rolling, evaporating even. A great vision. The area of transition between world and the Pale is called porch collapse. Okay, this is a lot weirder than I thought, god damn. Imagine the grey coronal mist, cold vapor marked by spores of opportunistic microprobabilism. And mold that's adapted to grow on the edge of unrest. It closes her eyes and breathes out heavily. The most disco thing you'll ever see. Oh, score. The Pale can damage the mind? Extensively. How? Some say the damage stems from extreme sensory deprivation. Others say that the Pale somehow consists of past information that's degrading. That it's rarefied past, not rarefied matter. They call it the blend over of the self. That sounds like what happened to us. Pale does not only suspend the laws of physics, but also the laws of psychology, maybe history even. The human mind becomes over-radiated by the past. So we could actually... This reminds me of a book called Lathe of Heaven, I think. Where a guy does something called effective dreaming, where he ends up changing the world depending on what he dreams, and a psychologist tries to make a utopia by influencing his bullshit. That's also true, but that might happen. Will be the case. So I'm wondering if us trying to remember things and wishful thinking the way it should be is actually changing the world more than just me assuming we change his name and shit. They call it the blend over itself. The Pale does not. Yeah, what's this over radiation feel like? It feels terrible, absolutely terrible. International standard strictly limits civilian travelers to 6 days of Pale exposure per year. It's more for her, way more. You're not a civilian passenger, no. Nameless detective of the Citizens Militia. I'm a member of the Interponondic business class. I'm cleared and trained for 22 days of Pale transit. Are you over-radiated? Up to my gills, officer. Aww. What is entreprenonic? Entrepreneutic connect is the scientific study of the Pale, or recent iteration of it. By way of the grad, the study of the Pale reaches back 6,000 years. Also the amount of kilometers it is away. The Peloponnesians call it the Western Plain. Did they cross it, the Western Plain? There are signs of pre-modern crossings. Successful navigation of the Pale relies not just on technical know-how, but in intensive psychological preparation. Some of these hacks have been known for thousands of years. What has Endrobenondonidis changed then? Nothing. We remain powerless before the Pale. The only real advantage in Pale Transit is the speed at which an aerostatic craft can pierce it. Less exposure leads to less effects later. Aerostatic craft. Hybrid airships, detective. Conventional rotors or jet engines no longer add velocity after the point of reference for motion is suspended. Once you've crossed from near Pale to far Pale, in essence, we throw them in and they come out the other end if we throw them precisely, and if not, then they just don't. Oh. Gone like a skipping stone beneath the surface. Thanks, visual calculus. How much Pale is there compared to the world? The Pale outweighs reality 2 to 1. There's more Pale than there is matter, and the ratio is slipping. Slipping how? To our detriment, or what do you think, detective? She looks you in the eye. It's growing, obviously. Precisely, one of the few measurable effects of the Pale is that it is expanding at an unknown rate. An intuitive conclusion of the development is that one day the Pale will cover everything, but this sort of talk is mostly left to extremists. Well, we have been able to say a few times that the end times are coming or some shit. Stay silent. Most people, and indeed most private and government sectors, organizations, entire civilizations and religions even, find handy ways to ignore or downplay that knowledge. Is this a global warming thing? Suggestive? So it's a sort of analog. Suggest you do the same. Off we go. You and the see the hangman's mouth open. Off we go into Pale Wild yonder. One and all, she closes her eyes. They say even pale is death. They say pale is death, but for the universe. Why should we just leave and leave, and the world gets left behind? Okay, reality. Yes, sweet reality, she stomps her foot. But before we do, tell me, detective. Is this the first time you hear this? Do you really not remember anything? I sometimes sense vague shadows of a past, and it's not good. Then tell me, what do you think of the Pale? It's disco. I don't know. What do we think of the Pale? Its advance can only be stopped with immediate, total, ruthless communism. I wanna play a communist idiot at some point. A powerful anti-communist force. Who am I to think anything of it? Her eyes sense Crowfeet's radiate from them. She observes you, your bloodshot eyes and your swollen face. You really don't know. This does not spell good for the investigation detective. If you don't know even this, she stops mid-sentence. Investigation will be my masterpiece. Disco was a while ago. The expression. I'll handle it, it's under control. I hope so, I truly do. If I may suggest, hold on to your colleague. I ran a check on him and he's very competent in the meanwhile. Talk to us about the Pale without Kim. Oh, I didn't know we... I want to know what you are. She hums. She won't maneuver her way out of that one. This one. What are you? I'm the wildest of the wilds, he says with a sudden flash of teeth. A traitor, a devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra. The look is related to disco. We found that out yesterday. It's a look from the past that a guy used to do, and for some reason we adopted it. Traces corner of her mouth smirking, revealing a canine. Liberal. What's so vile about what's an ultra? An ultra liberal is the type of liberal from the revolution. It's not the moderate kind. I liberate pretty hard myself, fucking idiot. I don't understand what's so vile about that. Haven't you heard? He nods pedagogically. I am a nether creature of the forbidden swamp, one who who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. Fucking shit wagon. Someone add pushed under the shit wagon to the bot, please. I can see you thought I'd gone extinct. No sane person identifies as an ultra-liberal anymore. Not in the broad daylight. She looks you in the eye. You're a centrist at heart. A real moralist. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening? In her eyes you see a mixture of truth, self-satire, decades of guilt and pride. I forgive you. I do hope so, she bows. I hope that we'll Swat, Joigus. I do hope so, she bows. I hope we were able to remain collegial despite it. Remember, we were partners, whether you like it or like to admit it or not. There's blood on many hands, I assure you. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. As he turns her gaze to the Delta. This is what our last generation managed. Would you have done something different? With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps mayonnaise a monument to the efficiency of its artillery. With a gentle while a gentle wind sweeps in the rebuilt east, a light drizzle washes it clean. Let's go up and motor carriages circulate the tracks. Fuck's sake, Flodority. Okay, alive again. I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition, not here in Maltese, and not in Stella Maris or Delta Beachhead either, and if not for my own sake. Flodority usually just dies for half a second and immediately functions again. The error sound plays for longer than Flodority is actually disconnected. It may actually be slightly longer if it takes a while to time out before playing the noise. She realizes her cold small fists are clenched. She loosens them. Then for my daughter, we haven't had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it. Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes, an oil fire on the ocean. You're a patriot? Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here. It's that every patriot would say that. You're a smart woman, regardless of your thing. Perhaps her earrings charms. As he nods, my intellectual vanity will be my undoing. You have daughters? Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife. She closes her eyes. Then opens them again. Now, shall we return to reality? Sure. What's that? Point to Cindy the Skull. The girl in the old lady rags. Yes. Looks like a sullen, rebellious member of teen infraculture. Infraculture? Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd, the music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant. those all too popular for the girls, and those are all too popular from the girl in the old lady rags. He prefers fantasy world and infoculture, with its own dress code and vernacular. It's an illusion, I'm afraid. There's no refuge from superculture. I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow. Well, that makes sense. I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye its hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subdue all critiques into oneself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead. It's not disco, no. That's all for now. Okay. Well, that was fucking enlightening. Jesus, a little bit horrifying. Things did not bode well. Now, disco was back when we were young, so she remembers it on account of being old. But it's generally dead, I think. I'm not sure I feel the bigger brain now. While this bird is dumb, having more better here would be good, I think. Look at him undulating in erotic delight. We've attempted the wall before. Doesn't work. Alright, hydrometer. Ah, yes. Aha! Wait, I have glasses that up logic, don't I? I'm not the biggest anime, I'm sorry. Shit. Give Ledger a snifflet. What toilet could this be? We've seen this, right? So we dropped our thing in the toilet. Fantastic. Time though. To be fair, our toilet is probably the cleaner place. Yeah, like look at this black outline we have here around the screen. Fucking fade is what it is. The pale, sorry. Aha. Do we have anything that unencyclopedias me? No, but I'm restless. Let's think about the king boy. Come on, 28%, you can do it. Ouch. One more fit. The more you ask yourself, the less you know. The one thing's for certain, though, you are brain damaged. It's serious and permanent. Yes, they need to reuse animation to pad out a 20-minute episode. Yeah, they might actually all agree on the isolas, but traveling between them nuts people up a bit, so anyone coming from a different one would always be a bit nuts, at least directly. Maybe not their descendants, like Kim, for example. Okay, I need 20 fucking bucks before we do anything else. Do you care, Kuno?
Necromancer pig! That ship was dark! Going in there like that! Brutal shit! Tell me!
He's referring to us shoving our hand down a corpse's throat.
Kuno dies! You're gonna pick one out of his brain like that too? Kuno's gonna go out in a hail of bullets! Gonna look like a fucking porcupine!
Kuno's alright. Put us at the side alley of the Boogie Street Spearhead. The young man in his early 20s approaches patrol officer Emilio Mullins. Well, you had to go through the throat. As for a cigarette, while Mullins reaches in the coat pocket for a pack of Astra he just purchased this morning. The man shoots him point blank at the chest. Breathless, the patrol officer collapses in the gutter. His right hand is grabbing the armor on his chest. The bullet didn't pierce it, but he can't breathe. On the pavement, the patter of the perpetrator's feet, growing distance. No, it was, it went in through the mouth, then through the top of the mouth, through the brain, and it almost came out the back of the skull. Bleed pig, someone opens the window and says, Munich, see who it is, the side goes dim. I'll be there for you, Kuno. NP, I got you. Yeah, there's a dreamy look in his eye. Aw. Kuno doesn't fucking care, but I ding ding Kuno. I ding ding hard, Kuno. Do you care, Kuno, about my ding ding? Gotta think about this fucking bird, goddamn. I think I might have internalized too much absolute shit. Aye. Man has the big thought. Now we got this book, didn't we? Book 16 days in coldest April. A row of concrete buildings with a monochrome rainbow in the sky tells a rather excruciating story about two lovers during an ethnic unrest in Yugograd. The book has been filed under psychological realism. It has you hold the 16 days of coldest April by Yika Maduri Dal. The cover image shows a row of concrete. Yeah. Indeed, the book is unusually heavy in your hands, as though the cover were lined with lead. They would do that in Grad. Thank you, Inland Empire. How long is this book anyway? You flip through the book. The pages are thinner than you realized, and quite small. The type quite small and tightly set. It's nearly 600 pages long. Let's watch the trailer for the book. Look at the back cover. The back cover is dominated by a black and white photograph of the author. What does she look like? She can't be much older than her mid-30s in the photograph. Yet from the cover, the eyes of a sad old woman stares back at you. Start reading. Oh. In cold, detached prose, the author describes the scene from the Yugoslavia riots in the 20s. Youth overturn motor carriages and trash cans ablaze, while heavily armored guardsmen dash in and disperse them with flurry of baton blows. In excruciating detail, the author describes the socio-economic conditions that have brought the people of Yugoslavia into the streets. Centuries of humiliations and despair, and then, during the riots, two young people meet. Fucking grad realism. It would be physically hurt you to keep reading, are you sure? 10 more pages. Physically? Oh, both. Damn. Their happiness is fleeting, a cruel jest, the absurdity of the state totally crushes them, and they end up betraying each other. She becomes an official in the regime. He a lens grinder and Fernerdike. The end. Score. Good stuff, I fucking love that. Pain threshold, god damn it. For the rest of the world, Yesislo is just some cool racial thing. Politically neutral and racial, it still holds revolutionary connotations. Also, you have looked at Lieutenant Kisuga's clothes. He wears a bomber jacket, just like the ones worn by aerostatic brigades. Those cargo pants look like they could fit tools for hotfixing your burning aerostatic. You could ask him about this. So we know more about Kim now, and we've got 2 empathy towards him, and a single Esperanza corpse. That's alright. There we go. I sort myself out today to see if I'd still breathe. Non-Esperanto corpse, mate. They literally just hit the ding ding. Stupid. Kingdom of Conscience is making its sweet way, so is rigorous self-critique. Yes. Da 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 da. Oh, we got more corpse bullshit now, so we should be able to try and remember some bullshit. Where? Yeah, one of my videos got copyright claim for this, and there's like literally that one where every time. Well done, YouTube thingy. No Esperanto.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Weird. You haven't been here for one of my many explanations of the system, you know. Hey Google. Bling bling sucker. Ding 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 ding. They call me the Oogulist. La da da, la, 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 la. It's a fantastic system. really makes a man. Like, the skills have drawbacks and shit depending on how high they are or low. Hmm. The shackle snaps were twig falls before. It's possible to enter now. Well, Kim wouldn't let us do this, so let's see what's going on here. The fuck's that? Flamboyant poster of a white reality star, real lithography. Books of critical theory on monstrosity of capital and such. Photos of revolutionaries posing with guns. Revolutionary loves the pose with guns. They do, don't they? What's this then? Bust of Krasmazov. A plaster calf's bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. Name of the plinth reads Krasmazov. Who's Krasmazov? Situated between poster of a white star and a photo of a revolutionary posing with the guns. There can't be a coincidence. There can only be one explanation. Krasmazov is a communist. A communard, sorry. Aha! Hey, conceptualization shirt and a 9mm bullet, huh? And a lounge jacket. Fucking yes. It is, in fact, mine. Man, we're disco now. Looks like you can get in there. That boy needs therapy. I'm angered at the fact that there's no new ass up. Darn it. Need more money. Can't pay my bullshit in the morning. Can only say house. There was a door we haven't tried. I think the bookstore actually. Hey little girl.
Hello again, sir.
What is this crime business? Crime fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that. And the work of policeman, a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals. Oh boy. We have a plastic bag. I'm not sure there's empty bottles in it. Well, we're supposed to be able to find people if we catch them doing illegal shit. What's crime? Doesn't know what to say. It's bad. Point to your head. Crime's what criminals do and policemen solve. What do you want to read about crime? It's exciting to people, I guess. They get to imagine dangerous things, and it's kind of like a puzzle. What I guess the criminal is and how good the guys catch them. And policeman myself, by the way. You don't look much like a policeman. She examines you to find something policeman-like. Well, what does a cop look like then? Didn't mean to offend, sir. So it's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen. She points up her cover, in which you see a strapping Vespertine officer. He stands grimly over a body of a dead woman. It's not your body that's important to police work, it's your point to your head. Head, yes. No, your mind. A Quicksilver mind. Don't eat Quicksilver. This Mullen guy looks like he needs 4 hours just to come up with a single idea. She gazes at the image of Dick Mullen frowning. Nah, he's wicked smart in the story, sure, but when the author does all the thinking for him, real policemen have to think and act on their own. No! Electrochemistry. Or Purple Man. Purple Chemistry Man fly. Like you, sir, of course, he smiles mischievously. Just a fictional character, he's no match for you. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna deduce something right now, lady. Fuck this. Yes. That girl keeps her hand folded, hidden. Why is that? Why do you keep your hand folded? What do you mean, sir? She looks wary. Don't need to worry. I'm here to help. Actually, I'd rather not deduce anything. Every time I deduce, people get hurt. No, I'm here to help. NP. She looks around anxiously. Her hands remain folded in front of her. She doesn't want to show them. It's okay. She brings her hands, her reddened hands, and her nails are frayed, nearly chewed to the flesh. You bite your nails? And you knew this for me keeping my hands folded? She shoots you a suspicious glare. A few other hints. Well, that proves nothing. Anyone could have do an easy deduction like that. Easy? Easy? Flashwood, I'm not depressed. Want more? Bet I can figure out why you bite your nails. I've got a few reasons in mind. Oh, Kingdom of Conscience. Chew on nails means you're recycling your... No. You're uptight because your mother and the pressure she's putting on you. This may flickers in your eyes. Maybe so, sir, she sighs. Okay, I know it's a bad habit and I shouldn't. Damn it, we can only be a dick about it. Either way, another ace deduction by the #1 detective in town. I hope this entertained you. It was okay, sir. I still got a rebellious streak. That's more than can... there's more that can be achieved here. Ask her to do the same. Good man, composure. What do you think? Fine. Do better. To do something about me. You're quite sober, she snaps back quickly. I'm also sad my head hurts. A good man, composure. I'm sorry, sir. She looks at you in the eye, sympathy gleaming in the face. I hope things get better soon. Thank you. Got a suggestion up. He stands there swaying on her feet, assaulted by early spring breeze. He smiles at you. The whole situation suddenly feels familiar somehow. Can I get some suggestion? We have a suggestion shirt, but let's have a look at this thing first. Do we have suggestion pants? I don't know. More or less dialogue options heal morale. Max learning cap militia raised to 5. Logic. Damn. Damn. That was a nice one. So I wonder what happens if we raise logic all the way up to fucking 6 with the points and then forget that fort. Will we keep the extra points but get rid of the bad shit for the forts? I'm hoping. Okay. Was it suggestion? It was suggestion, wasn't it?
Hi, Ace Detective. Are you here for more books?
What are you missing here? Why does this feel so familiar? Oh, nice, because you know each other. She's been talking to you openly because you've talked before. Aww. You know me, we met before. Yes, I stand this spot all the time, she's way back and forth on her feet. You've been running around all week without your shirt on, sir, apologizing to everyone. I don't really understand what you've done wrong. Did I ever talk to you? Of course, you stopped by a few times. She looks at you intently. You certainly look better than the last time I saw you. Thank you. Thanks, I'm trying. Yeah, I can see you don't have party eyes anymore. Nice. Party eyes? You know, like a cat in the dark, all big and wide like. She giggles at the thought. It certainly looks odd on a man. The swirling eyes of a loony drug addict. That's what she meant. We were probably gurning too. The expression. Fuck yeah. You should get some party eyes right now. Snap those sequins on you, boy. Shut the fuck up, electrochemistry. Yeah, composer's all about the thing. Does that mean I've been partaking in narcotics? Oh baby, it's not that's not what you have to worry about. Worry about the important thing. So why didn't you tell me you knew me to begin with? I didn't know I had to do that, she looks puzzled. Thanks, I've learned something about myself today. I'm glad I could help you, sir. She smiles a wide, helpful smile. What is love? It's the type of book where there's a rich lady and she has to choose between the good man and the bad man. She smiles at the thought, perhaps imagining herself in a situation. Or there's a it could be a story about a poor lady getting a rich man. It's about man and lady business, sir. Man, we have some depressing options. What about a poor man getting a rich lady? It happens, but usually the guy gets rich in the process, or should actually be rich himself, but has lost his family property unjustly. It's like during the revolution or something. Yeah, my sir. You have the expression. I see. Those are unhappy books for most of the pages. People sad about the time they lost. But then it all turns out just fine in the end. What about the books where men are bad, all the men are bad? Those are not very common. You don't have a choice between bad and bad. Can't have a choice between bad and bad. Nobody wants to read a story like that. Well, it's written very well. Hello, fourth wall. Well, maybe then it's fine. Maybe if the lady then decides not to pick either because she doesn't need a bad man. Yes, that would be interesting. What? Moralist? Kingdom of conscience? Are you making fun of me? What about when everyone is poor? That's really not proper romance story. It's more like everyday life. Sometimes you have to write about real life things. A lot of shooting in the head. That's communism, Cybert. Everyone gets a bullet. Share with your neighbor. Non-romance books, sir. These are about nice and pretty people, and everyone is happy in the end. What about a book where the man and lady business doesn't work out at all? I haven't read many of those. Maybe you should ask Mom? Yeah, you think she has one about an excruciatingly painful breakup? I don't think there's a romance story if the main characters break up, though. She pauses, trying to figure out the appropriate answer. No, think about it. One where the plunge into a torrid spiral of pain and cremation, only is really long and drawn out, scarred for life, phantom limb. No, I don't know. She looks at you with puzzlement. Does it ring a bell? Alright, I'll ask your mom. Yes, he knows relieved. He knows books, definitely. You clearly have issues that need to be addressed. Thank you, Volition. I'm trying to address them by admitting them to this little woman. Later, when you get the chance, you should address those issues by getting drunk. That'll shut up, electrochemistry. That's enough romance for me. I had other questions. Are there famous people? Oh, kings and queens and janitors, of course, of old, or artists and writers, musicians, just those kinds of people. There's usually something extraordinary about them. He scratches her cold, reddened cheek. Then continues, I think that's why people read them, to find secrets of their fame. It seems like most people who read those books fail to get more famous from reading them. Thank you, Logic. Reading those doesn't make the readers famous, does it? It does, but it does make the famous people more famous. He smiles gleefully. That's insightful, kid. Famous for vain people. I have better things to do. Okay, sir. She stamps her feet, waiting for what comes next. Alright, bye. Okay, I'm gonna have to restart the stream. Because YouTube bullshit. So I'll literally BRB. So, yeah. Give me a second.